Okay, so moving on from that, I want to broach a topic of how many of our life choices are down to us, and how much do we feel it's pressure from either parents, peers, etc. This is where we speak.
You know when you're trying to think about your argument and how you're going to bring it across?
I think what stands out to me about this subject is upbringing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Everyone's upbringing is going to be different, and from when you're little, things are just going to be accepted as this is how it goes.
Yeah.
This is normality. So in that's the pressure in itself. But then also, how much do we challenge what we're used to, whatever it is? I don't know. Is that down to
Your
our
own
personality?
pressure, the pressure from yourself on
Yeah.
what you think you should be doing because that's what your upbringing has imposed on you.
Yeah, it's kind of like self and society. It's
Yeah, it's just about society expectations as well. I think a lot of people try to live up to that and indirectly fail because they're just failing to be themselves.
Yeah.
In terms of society, now I always say this, and I because not that I've not conformed, but I had naturally a very different upbringing. Like, it was just my mum, so I didn't have a mother.
Not that different.
No, I'm saying
Jamaican child. Just my
no, in terms of
not that different now.
bring it in. In terms of what's considered the norm, like I didn't there was no father around. There was a strong mother. She let me watch whatever I wanted to watch whenever I wanted to watch it. She let me do what I want when I wanted to do it. And in that respect, it was just she could, because I knew what was right and what was wrong.
But she must have taught you that as well.
Yeah. But I don't. But there was no. You mustn't. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It grew into. So I now naturally, I'm always very hard on myself. I always think I can do better. I'm always pushing myself.
But is that actually yourself, or is that your mother who's influenced yourself? This is a psychology debate.
Yeah.
Because when people suggest stupid things to do, I can hear my mum saying no. And then I'm like, no, I don't want to do that, I'm good. Don't put me down for that, I'm okay. But it is like my parents' influence on how I am. Yeah. And I'm thinking, no, I don't feel like trying that foolishness today, so I'm good. Do you know?
But like the thing about my mama, hey mama, she's always right.
Yes. Live it, learn it, love it.
And because I'm stubborn.
Yes.
So she will tell me something, and I will go out of my way to prove the lady wrong, and I can't. I'm like, your mama done told you that, she was right. So now it just comes to the point where like, it's my mother, it's on everything.
Let me give you the one thing that grates me the most, and it's not even anything big. Right. When I used to go to school in the morning, she's like, eat breakfast. I'm like, oh, I'm not hungry. No, leave it. You know what Jamaican, like, eat this, have this, eat it.
Eat
no. Anyway, she'd give me a waffle, like a little, you know the waffles you used to get from like places, and she's like, take that with you to school. And I'm like, I'm not even gonna eat it. Fine, I'll take it with me. Come like midday, 1 o'clock. You know when you're angry at yourself? Because I'm gonna eat that waffle. And I'm vexed because I know she said I'm gonna eat it. And I come home every time and I'm eating the waffle because she was right and I'm starving. So everything, they're right on everything. Hey mama.
I'm not quite sure whether all families the same, but Asian people do that. When you get older, you're going to realise I was right at everything I said, and it so sucks the fact that they're never wrong.
Yeah.
And you indirectly end up being your parents. You don't even realise.
It's so true. Like, cause I eat a lot. And my mum was like, how are you always empty that fridge? I'm like, calm down lady, it's just food. And then my mum moved to New York, and I moved back home, and I had my sister and my cousin. If I tell you, I did not fill that fridge, and 2 days later the fridge was empty. I was like, how did y'all eat that much food? And mum, I get it, I'm sorry, I get it.
But you become your parents. When you're around other kids, I think I took my friend's kids out the other day, and my dad used to always say to us, if you're not in front of me, bear in mind there's 7 of us, so he's like, if you're not in front of me, we're going home. Because I don't have eyes in the back of my head and I can't see you, right? He's like, oh, Dad, you're just being so extra. Like, that's my friend's kids out the other day, and I kid you not, I was like, that's it, we're turning around, we're going home, because I can't see you back there, so we're not going to wherever it is, we're going home. And they'll be like, oh my God, I've become my father. actually.
But then you get people who don't have the sort of upbringing that you can look back and reflect on and appreciate and laugh. And then, so they are not like their parents and they're glad to not be like their parents. So the question of the pressure and yourself applies differly to their experience. But then I would say, even in that, we can only really work on what we're given. Like you're only challenged by what you see when you're growing up. So if you never see something else, it's never gonna be part of the person you become because you've never been exposed to that. So you're never gonna either challenge it or accept it. Do you hear what I'm saying?
I know, I see, but I don't say you would never challenge it, because like I said, I went out, like, if I've reached a decision on something, I'm trying to make sure it's not because someone told me something, and then I just believed it. Yeah. Like, if I've reached a decision, like, someone told me something, I'll go and get advice from, like, certain people, like, it'll probably be one of you guys here, and then, or my mum.
Give the best advice.
But then I would go out and I'd experience it and challenge it, and see, oh, is this the right way for me? Is that the right way for me? So I think, in essence, yes, we're taught certain things at home and by our peers, but you kind of have to go out into the world and experience it for yourself and make your own decisions.
But I think you're quite a strong person, so the question is, do you then, see how you decided, okay, you give me this advice, cool, you give me that advice, cool, but I'm going to go and see what I think about it. Is everyone like that? Or do you not think some people are like, oh, I've been told by so-and-so that this is what I should do, and I've been told by so-and-so that this is what I should do, and I really don't feel like that, I'm just going to sit and be miserable because that's what is expected of me?
Oh no, I fully understand that.
I'm not that way because I don't have that in me. But I'm sure a lot of people are.
And in essence, I did get that from my mum.
See?
So is it
I think your brain kind of zones into it as well. It's like people that go through certain relationships that are violent or whatever, it could be something that stemmed from a young age because you think that it's acceptable, and the way that you've been brought up indirectly, you think that it's okay and you've just got to live with it because that's what you're worth. So I think it's a bit about self-worth and loving yourself a bit more, and I think it's really important for a person to get in touch with them inside as well as outside, because a lot of people are trying to portray this whole look and contour their life as such.
I agree with you, but what about people who don't come up on that idea naturally? Do you know what I mean? Like, you do need to look inside yourself. But I spend a lot of time reflecting on why I'm the way I am, what's made me the way I am. Even when a situation will happen and I will just be irrationally angry, and I know I'm being irrationally angry, but I don't really know why I'm so mad at this situation, and I will go and think to myself, but for what reason am I mad about that? Because I don't understand. Do you know what I mean? And so I don't know if everyone does that, you know?
But then that's a tool that you have that we also learn. Like, we learn to reflect, we learn to think about it, and we learn to actually ask why. Some people don't ask why. Maybe they're even raised to not ask why. So, but then
it could be. Yeah, I agree with you totally.
Sorry to cut you off. Do you think it's how you're raised, or do you think some people just innately have that inquisitive nature?
I think it's a bit of both, babe. I really do think it's a bit of both.
That makes me think of my younger siblings who are 7 and 8 at the moment, and one of them will just go for it, and the other one, since she was born, she's just, it seems like she's always asking questions. Like you could not make this child smile. Like she was gonna do what she wanted to do from when she was born. It was really strange. But yeah, it just makes me think how natural.
But then people learn in different ways though, because me and my brother are like that. Me, if you say, oh, let's do this, I've got to think about every way that that's going to pan out before I'm going to go and do it. And my brother's already over there drowning in the pool because you know what I mean? So, but then he learned to swim, and he didn't learn to swim because he worked it out. He learned to swim because he would either sink or swim. Do you know what I mean? And I learned to swim because I was like, but how is the best way to stay afloat over there? Like, so you just learn in different ways, I think, with that.
That's really weird because when I'm at work, 90% of the time for people that work with me are going to see this, I think about what is going to happen from A to B because I'm paid to do it. But at work, I've got myself into some very sticky situations. Because I'm a free thinker. I just think, just find out at the bottom of the road what happens, you know, it is. I'm a living let live person.
I wouldn't call that free thinking.
Right.
Yeah.
What were you going to say?
I was going to say I'm the same. I would just jump in.
Yeah, jump in. I think it's the best way. When I learn,
But then I do
not
think
right.
a lot as well. So I'm a bit. I don't know.
That sounds alright. Like the only best way I can explain it is I was having a conversation with a friend and he's like, yeah, I want to live life. I want to like seize the day. Like today's the last day. And I get that. I'm like, live life to the fullest. But say this was your last day, or you thought it was your last day.
Yeah.
You spent all your money. You told everyone to F off. You maybe like stole some stuff, killed some people. Oh no, tomorrow I'll wake up. What are you gonna do then?
job centre.
But that's the
Job
thing. It's not about.
You have no
It's not about living it like it's your last day. It's about making the most of every
making the
day.
most of every day.
I always say wake up and be the best of you every day.
Yeah.
You know, like my daily, they're not really real, some of them are alright, most of them are rents on my Facebook. But I just think you should just wake up and be the best, you know. Like I've done my complete nutting, and I realised that when I beat my depression and my anxiety, it's because I was overthinking stuff, you know. And when I realised the beauty of it, it was wake up and just be the best that you can every day. And it pans out, it's a positive thing. So I think positivity is a good thing in anybody, in any culture, background, you know.
But do you not find the British culture isn't very positive? Do you
No.
not find that, or is that just me? Like, a lot of it's
feel-
about the negative, the way, not even like people purposely, but it's always like, oh, it's so grey, oh, it's so dark today, oh, I had such
We're
a
known
bad
for it
night's sleep.
globally.
It's just
Yeah,
genuinely
globally,
like
yeah.
a down,
Right.
Yeah,
you know?
definitely.
Going on from what you said, remember to I always say be the best, but really be the best you that you,
Yeah,
you can
you
be
can
on
be.
that day
Yeah.
for yourself. So wherever you are in your journey, it's about the best that you
I'm
are at
having a
that point,
comfort panel.
and it'll.
Have you seen the third one?
No, I haven't.
Watch it, brilliant.
Okay. I will go on from that and that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but that seems to kind of go against the idea of just jumping for it. Because for me, I'm not really the sort of person who would just jump. I always feel like I have to think about what I do before.
Oh, I always
I
think
think an
about it.
adrenaline rush will not
I don't like the
It's
not.
stress and anxiety.
It freaks me out, and then it's no longer fun for me.
Yeah, because I
Yeah,
feel as though
Yeah.
what if I jump into something, haven't thought it through, and actually it leads me to do something that isn't going to cause me freedom, even though it feels like freedom in the moment. If I'm going to end up being oppressed or addicted, like I'm not going to start doing it. And to me, that makes me feel like I'm choosing something which is actually going to cause me freedom. If I'm choosing not to do it, I know I'm not going to go that way, so I'm happy. So that causes me to feel free.
Yeah.
So,
Rather
yeah.
than jumping in to anything.
I think maybe it's not about jumping in, but maybe it's about doing things that you actually want to do rather than things you think you want to do because someone else has
Totally.
the idea on you.
But then I think, and there was an episode of Modern Family that talked about this. I think it's.
Punching the advertising.
I think it's good to have a combination
What have we done now?
of both.
Guys! Sorry.
No, but it's good to have a combination of both.
Yeah.
Like it's probably not best for me to be with someone who's very, very logical and think, because that's me, and then our rigidity is going to clash at some point because I like it that way.
Oh,
and
yeah, like
it's
that.
gonna, yeah, because you know. But then
Beautiful people
there
do
are certain
that.
things that you haven't like.
Yeah.
If we were living together,
Yeah, we get
so
some-
like no, because I'm like no, that
That's
needs to be like
just
that.
switch off and
Exactly.
keep it.
You know what I mean? So sometimes it's nice for me to be around people who are free and spontaneous because they'll go, oh, do that, and then they'll be like, okay, and let's make sure this doesn't happen.
Basically, I'm the one that always gets you into trouble.
And you have fun now. So I think it's kind of a combination of.
I think it's good to have a balance of a bit of everything in your life and not be scared to do it or to take the risk. Even when it comes to me personally, when it comes to learning, I've worked with you for that company, and I learned.
No more advertising.
Are you giving us a check?
Damn the company that I work there. I learned better doing my job,
Yeah.
but I failed the exam by 2%. But I was probably better than most people that actually passed the exam. I'm still not over it.
I'll tell you a little. There's some backstory to that I'll tell you off camera.
Don't get me started on exams.
I don't like exams. My brain doesn't work in
But
that manner.
ask me.
Ask me, I can tell.
Yes.
Yes.
If an exam, whenever again in your life, is it going to be, quick, tell me the answer to this? No, don't look at Joyce. Tell me the answer. No, don't look at your phone. Tell me the answer. Don't get help.
Oh, that's so true.
I just,
Never in my
I'm
life does
freaking
that
out right
happen. It doesn't
now.
happen.
It doesn't.
It doesn't happen in real life. So what does the exam tell you?
It tells
it
people
might
who
happen
are
in
very
real
good
life.
at remembering things.
It might happen in real life. Like,
But how often
if
does
you
that
work
happen?
in a hospital, for example, you might have to think, choose between this and this now.
But then the people who work in hospitals tend to be the people who are
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Go
that's
down
true. Yeah.
if you're not that way
Yeah.
inclined, that's
You're not
what
going to do it in a
that.
day-to-day life, yes.
Yeah.
There's
Cool.
very few things you have to do it all by yourself, all on your own. You
Yeah.
must do it now. Very few things.
One of them is
That's
being an
what
adult.
happens. Well, we're all failing at that.
Hey, I'm getting better every day.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm so
Yes,
funny.
you
My
are.
life is a joke.